How's it, guys? Quick little how-to DIY tips and tricks here from the Burton Builds garage. This is on addressing a bearing housing. Now I'm currently busy mechanically restoring a 50-year-old vintage lawn tractor, currently working on the deck and replacing the spindle bearings. We've got the whole lot set here. There's the spindles, here's the housings, here's the bearings, and these housings are slightly worn. So if we have a close look in there, if the camera will focus, yep, looks like it will, we can see that the inside here needs to be dressed up. Now I can confirm this because I have already pressed one of these bearings into the housing, and then if we turn it over, once it's fully seated in home, the inner race of the bearing actually presses on the outer sort of part of the housing here. That's not good. We don't want any rubbing whatsoever. So I pulled that bearing out, and then that's when I noticed that there was excessive wear inside here. So we need to dress this area. Now, without specialist tools, how can you do this in your garage? It's actually fairly simple. Just go grab yourself a washer, a nice big flat washer. Now, get the washer that is appropriate to the size recess that you're working with. Mine's 47 millimeters. So get yourself a flat washer there and the appropriate bolt to go through the center. So that's what I've done. Grab yourself some sandpaper. Now I've just used normal 80 grit sandpaper, traced out the washer and cut it out with my wife's sharpest kitchen scissors, and that's what I've used there. I've cut out multiple ones here because this stuff is going to wear out fairly quickly. Probably better to use emery cloth if you do have, but I don't have any on hand. And what we're going to do is just pop the bolt straight through the center hole. We're going to put that through the washer, and then we're going to tighten it up with a nut at the back. Just bear with me while I thread this nut on. There we go. We're going to tighten that up. We can tighten that up with some spanners, and then we've got a nice flat abrasive surface. And what we do is we're going to put this side or this end into a drill, and then we're going to put this part in the vise and then feed that into there, spin the drill. It's a little bit tight now, but it'll loosen up as you spin the drill, and that's going to dress up this inner surface. As I said, these things may wear out, so you might go through multiple little pads, but they're cheap enough to make, and it works really well. Let's have a look at how to do it exactly. So we've got our bearing housing secured into the vise. We're going to use a standard drill. Now you guys can use basically any drill, and the little bit that we made is in the end of the chuck. We're going to spin it up, dress it up, and see how well it works. Cool, so we can see that it has started dressing up the surface. It's time for a new pad. Pretty much all of the grit is worn off this. That's why I say it's better to use emery cloth, but not a problem. We've still got another 3 pads available to us. So there we have it. The seat of our bearing little casing here has been flatted and trued up fairly well. Now, of course, there is still some small pit marks. That's from the rust, but that's not going to be a problem in this case. If it is for you, you can just continue with the process that we were using, and eventually those pit marks will all come out, and you're going to be left with a nicely, let's not say machine surface, but a nice flat surface for the bearing to rest on or to seat on. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is going to be good enough for our case. If you guys are a little bit worried about the inner race still catching up on the bearing casing, whatever casing you guys are using, you get something, I'm not sure of the technical term, but maybe it's a wavy washer, but it's a really thin, maybe 0.3, 0.4 millimeter spring type flat washer. And you would put that into this recess, and basically that flat washer just touches the outer race of your bearing, and then when you press it in, it kind of shims the bearing up just a small amount, and it shims it away from this inner race. So I hope that makes sense, and that's a little tip and trick from the Burton Builds garage. If you found this useful, please give the video a like. If you think it's a load of rubbish, then let us know in the comments how you would do it better. Guys, my name is Grant Burton. This is the Burton Builds garage, and you'll see me in the next video. Cheers.